All right, mate. Yeah, welcome to the group, by the way. So, Hollow and Tribe, yeah, short and medium term. Hope you had a good weekend. Now, well, obviously we can see the structure of it. The big long base, the parabolic move, the drop, the crash, the continued downtrend. There's a few important things to note just while observing. I just want to get that right there. So you can see it's down 93%. Was down probably 94 something, 95 maybe. Yeah, 94 it was down. Okay, so that's definitely an interesting level, to be dropping back down. What interests me here, just off the bat, looking at this, you can see where this came down and this spike down, and we are now down below that spike. So that is interesting. I like to see price come down below a spike like that at times, depending on the structure, right? Depending on the structure. In this structure, I like to see it drop and get below there. I'm just moving the video there. Let's have a look now. Yeah, a lot of times, well, what I'm keeping an eye out for, because we're coming into the merge, a lot of times when you put in this base like this, you get the first attempt to break up and it fails and it comes back down, but this can form a higher low. You can see that we are forming a higher low here, higher than there. So it is trying to form a higher low, and it is also trying to get back above these moving averages, right? That is, that's what I've been watching in this market. If we do get back up over these moving averages, let's look to see what it actually is on this chart. Yeah, so if we do get back up, it would form a green bullish candle, and it might open the door then for kind of higher prices. So it's kind of how do you want to call it? It's kind of a do or die situation. If this flips red here, there's a very good chance that this was a pop up kind of to kind of stop on longs or trap longs, I should say. And if this flip red again on the month, well, it's likely to have another leg lower. So it's either it needs to pop up and get above those moving averages and hold and come back up, or it's gonna, this will be considered a bear flag that will end up rolling away again. A little bit like what happened here. You can see when this candle flipped red right there, right here, we got the flush lower, and that was actually the bottom of the market, by the way. So a flush lower down here would bring you down to 97% down, 96, 97% down, which would be an extremely interesting place to be buying up some. I would love one more flush lower, to be honest. As long as we hold above this green candle here on a monthly basis, the price, we are considered bullish at this point in time. You can kind of see what that is there as well. It's holding. Like when I look at this overall structure, though, I do not think it is bottomed, right? But the problem is, when you're in this situation, you can sometimes get decent bounces before coming down to new lows. Okay, that's the tricky part. But when I look at this overall structure, this is a parabolic move. Parabolic advances like to drop 80 to 90%. We've kind of satisfied that. We have dropped 90% or whatever it was there, 94 in total. But this is a breakdown. You can see here we formed this pattern right here, and this is a clean breakdown. When you get a clean breakdown that closes on the lows, quite often at some point price will likely like to go below the large red candle. So it's kind of implying that the low for Hollow is not in at this point because of this structure here and the breakdown. It is getting supported right now by this previous area right across here. So that's where the support's coming in. There's a slight bullishness at the moment. As long as it holds above this green line, there may be some more upside. But if you're looking for longer term accumulation, I would have to say that the bounce up here is going to fail somewhere, or wherever it's going to fail, and eventually price will come below this line here. In the near term, there's a very slight, and it is very slight, bullish bias. Okay, there is a slight bullish bias that can go higher. You can see down here, we kind of had this bit of a rejection down here in the lows, and we popped back up. So there's six days left in this candle. I don't think that this is going to flip red this week. Kind of implying that it can be very choppy. Maybe there might be some upside, but I think next week in the next 2-week candle will be a determining factor. Either we get that move, pretend that's a red candle. Either it'll be next week in 6 days time that we get the breakdown, or maybe that's when we get some sort of continuation. But for now, to me, it looks very choppy. It looks like we're trying to work itself out. I think it'll probably need a new 6-month candle here, because this is a slightly bearish setup in the fact that you break down, but you can get bearish setups in a range, right? And they can fail and move back up. So when you're in a range, it's not the end of the world. But if price breaks below that red candle, that's bearish. So Tribe here, let's look at it. I kind of already don't like Tribe looking at this. I'm not saying that I hate it or anything, but we're in the depths of a bear market, and Tribe has always been a shitcoin to me, really, and I don't mean that because I don't have a clue what it actually does. But ever since its inception, it's look what it's done. So I've never really paid any attention to it. But after a bottoming process, or after a downtrend, and you get this sort of up movement into the moving averages, that is a potential rejection area, right? That can come back down. That's not set in stone. But when you break up, from the range, you've got your high volume, you've got your moving averages. I get a little weary when it breaks up into this point. Yeah, look at this. There's see this level right here. In theory now, I would probably suggest the Tribe is bearish below that level. Let's go into a daily chart. Yeah, I do see what you mean. Listen, this is a great move, very, very nice move, but I get weary buying it here. Let's look at this. Look at that. This was Tribe was beautiful, like it really was. Look at this deviation here. We come down, we stop onto the lows, and from that we just absolutely pumped very hard. You can see it's trying to flip red there. Just flipping red right now. Even if we took it from there, well, it's only 100%. Well, I say 100% lightly, but technically it's slightly bearish now, below this green line at the top. These patterns, what I will say is a dip in this pattern is probably, like, if we dip down to here, see this level here, if we stop onto that level, I would say then we are moving up into above here, right? That's the way I would like to see it play out. Slightly bearish in the near term that can drop down. If we stop onto the low of the range, right down here, like come down and ran some stops below there, I would say that the next target is above this red 200 moving average. That's a very, very likely and plausible action on this. You can see this is straight up. Not a lot of things like to go straight up, but well, not much dip here. It did go straight up here. Small dip, push back up, small consolidation, push back up. So let's just look. But personally, I wouldn't be buying there with that bearish stop hunt right there on the highs. It makes it risky. You can see it right there. What if 25 days left? What if that was a top on a bearish rejection to go higher, and this dropped down and flip red again? Next month that could get continuation red, then on back down, and that's the worry. So I think it was a beautiful move. Right, I really do. And it was, look at this stop hunt right here, this green bullish stop hunt right down here on a 3-month chart. 3-month chart, as you can see there. So the move has been beautiful. The problem is we're late to the move, and it gets more risky. It gets harder. This weekly, The new week now is trying to flip red. What if we have a red candle, a rejection candle, a red candle back down because we had the stop up there? So makes me a little bit weary. If we get the dip back down, I think it's probably a buy for a move higher.